If you have been following the news, there's a big story, and that is crypto is legal in Ghana. Big question is, why should you care? If you're a citizen of this country, if you're a crypto trader, you run a crypto business, or you're a stakeholder locally or globally, I'm here to tell you 8 things you need to know about this bill and why you should be paying attention. 1. Virtual assets and cryptocurrencies in Ghana now have a legal framework. What this means is before this bill was passed, yes, people were trading in cryptocurrencies. There was also crypto business going on. But the truth is that there was no underlying regulatory framework, directives or guidelines to guide its usage or regulate its services. But now there is a laid down, legal framework. Also, guidelines and directives are going to be rolled out to basically ensure that the space is sanitized. There's consumer protection, and also to ensure responsible adoption of cryptocurrencies. 2. The act is not yet effective as I record this video. That is because the president has not yet signed it. But once the president signs it, there's going to be a roadmap as to when the virtual asset service providers can now start, the procedure of getting their licenses, and also there will be further directives and guidelines as to how this act will basically be operationalized. Now, number 3 is a no-brainer, that persons and entities who are involved in the business of virtual assets will need to obtain licenses. But here is what you need to know. These licenses are not entity-based. They are rather activity-based. So, for example, if Cryptority has an exchange, now you're not just going to say Cryptority has a license and okay, I can operate. Now, Cryptority is going to be licensed based on the activity. So let's say an exchange can be licensed to maybe offer custodial services, but they won't have the license for trading. So licenses are basically going to be activity-based and not entity-based. And this also means that an entity could have multiple licenses for various activities. So this is also to ensure that there's more, close supervision so that these entities do not operate in activities that they are not licensed for. And the key institutions for these licenses will be the Bank of Ghana and the SEC. But of course, they'll be supported by other institutions like the FIC and other institutions who have other roles to play. 4. Now, one of the main things that necessitated this bill is to combat money laundering and also terrorist financing. So this bill is really put in place to combat that. And in line with the entire framework for AML and then also CFT, every virtual asset service provider is supposed to have an AMLRO, that is the reporting officer, who is going to ensure that in terms of compliance and ensuring that all the guidelines that will be rolled out concerning AML, CFT, and its compliance will be followed to the letter. 5. Virtual asset service providers who would want to obtain these licenses will be required to set up offices in Ghana, thereby, ensuring that you have physical presence. Now, the regulators will be able to visit these offices and basically run checks and also see how operations are going. Number 6 is that the act itself is a high-level framework. So further directives and guidelines will have to be issued to operationalize it. For example, there's going to be definitely taxation. So GRO will have to roll out its own tax regime in accordance to the entire framework. Now, number 7 is interesting, and I would like to read it out. So advocacy, advertising, and promotion of crypto assets is going to be regulated. So we are looking at influencers, marketers, content creators, etc. You need to contact the SEC or BOG for a license. Finally, number 8 is one that I'm personally really excited about, and that is NAVALI. That is the National Virtual Assets Literacy Initiative. So looking at the youthful population in this country and the fact that a lot of youth are involved in cryptocurrencies. So you're going to have the Bank of Ghana, the SEC, and also the Ministry of Education partner with other, civil groups and also private sector organizations to ramp up public awareness, or basically campaigns to educate people. So this initiative is really exciting for me because as someone in the education and training space for quite a long time now, have come to realize how important education is, and this initiative is going to ensure that the masses are informed about the opportunity, the promise, and also the risks that are in this space, so that there will be responsible adoption of cryptocurrencies and then scams can be prevented. So this is what we have. These are the 8 things I would like you to know. And personally, this is my take. I am super excited that we finally have like a legal framework to guide the use of virtual assets, that's cryptocurrencies, in this country. One, anyone who has been sitting on the fence, either individuals or entities who were taking their time in coming to Ghana or setting up operations in Ghana, or even entrepreneurs here in this country who were kind of confused about what exactly was the roadmap, would now breathe a huge sigh, because there's a regulatory framework, and then there are going to be guidelines that would actually boost confidence, investor confidence, and also confidence in the public, and in understanding the space and knowing exactly what cryptocurrencies are. And I also think that this is going to create more opportunity, as we're going to have a lot of crypto businesses set up, have physical presence here in Ghana, and lead to also employment of young people doing amazing stuff in the blockchain and crypto space in this country. So I'm really anticipating how things are going to go as we have a framework, and yeah, fingers crossed, hoping that this is going to boost the economy and also boost the entire blockchain and crypto space here in Ghana. So these are just 8 highlights. There's an entire act to break down, and I'll be doing that right here on my channel. So if you have not given me a follow, make sure you do that so that you do not miss out on all the breakdowns I'll bring you concerning the act. See you in the next one. Cheers.